I've been using EveryDollar for my own personal budget for several months now, and it has saved me several $1,000s already, and it can probably do the exact same thing for you. What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. This may come as a shock to some of you, but up until recently, I had a bit of a relaxed approach with my budget, and by that I mean I didn't really have a budget. But after digging through my incredibly unhealthy spending habits in this video, I realized that it was time to give my money a plan. And after using a ton of different budgeting apps and platforms and strategies, the one that my wife and I have landed on is EveryDollar. So I'm gonna take you inside my own budget within EveryDollar in a second, and we'll walk through each of the different menus. But as the name suggests, the whole concept here is giving every single dollar a purpose, which is known as zero-based budgeting. And this is a budgeting strategy that many of EveryDollar's competitors also use, and a budgeting approach that I personally think is really effective. I want to be clear that this doesn't mean that you have $0 at the end of the month. All it means is that not only are you intentionally setting money aside for your rent and food and other essential expenses, but you're also setting money aside for things that are just fun, or saving your money, or your emergency fund, or your investments, and that sort of stuff as well. We can talk about features all day, but the best way is to just show you. So if we hop inside the EveryDollar app, you can see that currently I've gone back in time to July of 2022, which I have completely reset to show you what your budget will look like when you first download the app. At the top of the screen, you have three menus, which is your planned expenses, what you actually have spent in the month, and then what is remaining in each budgeting category that we're about to look at. So every month before the month begins, you'll start by selecting the Plan tab, and you'll see a pre-made template that you will use as a foundation, but EveryDollar will then learn your regular income and recurring expenses, and will roll those over month to month. So it will get much faster in terms of doing your budget each month after you input some of those recurring transactions. Now, the purpose of today's video is not to be a full-blown tutorial of the EveryDollar app and exactly how I do my own budget, so if you would like to see that sort of thing, let me know down in the comment section. But essentially, what you're going to do is add all of your planned income in the first menu here by selecting the Add Income button, and then just give each of these paychecks a name and enter the amount that you expect to earn. For our example, let's just put $8,000 in here, but again, if you get paid weekly or bi-weekly, you can split this up by each individual paycheck. So once all of your expected income is input, it's time for the fun part, in my opinion, which is to plan what you're going to do with that money. And you can see you have sections like giving, saving, housing, transportation, food, personal, lifestyle, health, insurance, and of course, debt. So the goal now is to take the total planned income that you just input at the top of the screen, and what you actually have to do is divide that across all these different categories until the number at the top equals 0. Again, if you want to see a full video on how I do my own budget, let me know down in the comments. But if we scroll down to the savings section, here is where I want to show you one of my favorite EveryDollar features, and that would be the funds feature. We'll use a car savings fund as an example. Add a new item by selecting Add Item, and we'll name this one Car Fund. Next, we'll select the fund and input our goal amount, which is $20,000 for this example. And right now, I know that we can contribute $2,000 this month towards this goal. And now that we have this fund set up and this baseline information input, this is going to automatically roll over month to month as we set more and more money aside towards that longer term financial goal. But scrolling down from there, you have the more easy to understand expenses, including things like your mortgage or rent payments, and a number of different recurring bills where you can actually input the exact due date each month. And once again, that is going to roll over month to month. Just as an example, let's say that I have to put my mortgage in here, which I know is due every single month on the first of the month, and I have to set aside $2,958.75 each month. So I'll type in that amount here, and you can see that out of our $8,000 income, that amount that we just entered now comes comes off of that and goes down to $5,041.25. Again, really self-explanatory. You continue to just allocate your income to all of your different budgeting categories that you create until you get a green check mark for a successful EveryDollar budget at the top of the screen. Before we move on to the spend tab, I do want to show you the new beta paycheck planner feature that they just recently added. And essentially this shows you your income and various expenses throughout the month on one easy to understand chart and tells you what your risk is of overspending based on the known transactions. Speaking of transactions, if we click on the spend tab at the top of the screen, this is where we're going to tell EveryDollar how much we are spending throughout the month on the planned spending categories that we set at the beginning of the month. And this is a great time to explain to you the cost of EveryDollar and what you get with that premium version. So don't worry, the good news is that EveryDollar is completely free and you can download it right now on your smartphone and start using it no problem. However, like I said, there is a premium version of EveryDollar, which is currently $80 per year, and this allows you to connect to over 10,000 banks and other financial institutions so that your transactions will automatically sync to the EveryDollar app, and as I'll show you in a second, I think that is well worth it. I fully understand that not everyone is comfortable paying for a budgeting platform, and that's totally understandable, but number one, this is actually less expensive than their biggest competitor, You Need a Budget, also known as YNAB, and number two, there is a 14-day free trial, plus you can pay $12.99 per month if you just want to try it out for a few months before committing to a full year. But again, if you pay for the full year, that breaks down to less than $7 per month, which in my opinion is well worth it. The premium version of EveryDollar also is part of Ramsey Plus, so if you did want to take Financial Peace University, which is the 9-week course taught by Ramsey Solutions on how to get out of debt and build long-term wealth, along with the premium version of EveryDollar, then that is available with some other benefits for $130 per year. But if you're just looking for the budgeting app and nothing else, then $79 per year is a steal in my opinion. All right, so if we hop back into the app, the reason I say the premium version is so worth it is once you sync those various financial accounts, your tracking of spending and income and all of that is as easy as dragging and dropping those transactions to the appropriate categories that you created. So once your water bill is charged to your account, you just drag that to your water bill. And once your mortgage is charged, you just drag that to your mortgage. Plus, you're able to click on the transactions tab and choose select in the top right-hand corner of the screen, and you can then select multiple transactions at once and categorize them and delete excluded transactions, and everything is just way faster than if you had to manually input all of those transactions. Throughout the month, as you match the various transactions to your planned expenses, everything on the remaining tab, which is the one all the way on the right, should slowly start to approach zero, with the exception of your ongoing savings funds. So you can see on the remaining tab that, like I said, my emergency fund is fully funded, so that shows that I have $30,000 remaining in that particular fund. But if I had to spend money out of that emergency fund, if something were to happen, then I would just drag that expense to the emergency fund category, and there we go. I now know how much I have to replenish that fund right from this screen. Again, if you click on transactions, this is where all of your accounts are linked, and you can see all of the transactions under one screen. The accounts tab is where you can view, add, or delete any linked financial accounts. Insights is going to show you a number of different spending breakdowns by category, and the profile tab is where you'll find some other miscellaneous information and features. So outside of the really simple EveryDollar app, they do also offer a wonderfully designed desktop platform as well that you can access by simply logging into your account at everydollar.com. And this is going to give you a bit of a more detailed breakdown of your spending habits, lets you create various financial goals, and in general get a lot more of an in-depth look at your budget. I know that I'm moving through the app and desktop platform fairly quickly, and I probably will make a more in-depth tutorial in the future on how I actually make my own budget. But in this video, I want to focus on answering the question of what makes this such a great platform that caused me to ditch my previous budgeting app. And that's kind of a complex answer, but the word that I always come back to is simplicity. I've personally used platforms like You Need a Budget and even the SoFi Relay budgeting platform in the past, and while those platforms do work just fine, if your budget isn't simple and easy to manage and convenient in your life, then it's probably not going to last long term. Just like a diet or exercise plan, if it's overly complex or difficult to maintain, then not only is that not going to work out long term, but why would you want to make this so painful when it doesn't have to be that way? Ramsey Solutions has clearly spent a lot of money developing this app, and since the last time I used it several years ago, it has seen some pretty major improvements that in my opinion have pushed it well past the competition. Plus, their customer service has been great in my experience, and they literally recoded the app and issued an update when I brought a syncing feature to their attention with my SoFi savings vaults. It is going to take some time to learn, and your first few budgets, just like mine, are probably going to suck for a number of reasons. But the ability to create a budget from your smartphone and simply drag and drop your auto-synced transactions to make sure that you are staying on track throughout the month means that this is not only a painless budgeting method, but honestly, it's kind of fun as well. For once, you get to make the plan and tell your money what it's going to do for you rather than the other way around. And even if you have a mountain of debt to climb out of and feel like there's no way that you can get ahead financially, just seeing your plan laid out in front of you in an easy to understand way is probably going to give you a level of peace that you've never experienced before. But as always, this is just my opinion, so I'd love to know what you think of the EveryDollar platform down in the comment section. And again, if you would like to see a more in-depth step-by-step tutorial showing you how I create my monthly budget using EveryDollar, then let me know down in the comment section as well. Be sure to check out some of my favorite financial tools using those links down below the like button. And as always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.